We begin this hour in the United States, where President Donald Trump has nominated conservative Amy Coney Barrett to replace liberal Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the Supreme Court. Justice Ginsburg died earlier this month. Trump and Barrett appeared at the White House for the formal announcement. Trump said he's proud to nominate her.
She is a woman of unparalleled achievement, towering intellect, sterling credentials, and unyielding loyalty to the Constitution, Judge Amy Coney Barrett.
The 48-year-old Barrett is currently a federal appeals court judge. U.S. media outlets report she's a devout Catholic. She's also the mother of 7 children. Barrett is reported to be against abortion and gun control. Barrett pledged that she would carry out her duties responsibly.
I have no illusions that the road ahead of me will be easy, either for the short term or the long haul. I never imagined that I would find myself in this position. But now that I am, I assure you that I will meet the challenge with both humility and courage.
If she's confirmed by the Senate, Conservatives will have a 6-3 majority on the Supreme Court. Trump's choice is seen as a bid to regain ground in the presidential race by appealing to evangelical Christians and other members of his key support base. The Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden says the winner of the election should name the new justice. Google says it's going to ban election-related ads immediately after the polls close for the U.S. presidential race on November 3rd. It's seen as a way to prevent confusion that might follow the election. The ban will apply to all of Google's platforms, including the video streaming service YouTube. Google says the ban will be in place for an unspecified period. Some have suggested the election results might be delayed because of the time needed to count the mail-in ballots. People are expected to vote by mail in record numbers because of the coronavirus pandemic. Twitter has announced it will place warning labels on questionable content and delete groundless claims about ballot tampering. Facebook says it won't accept new ads from candidates or their campaigns in the week leading up to the election. NHK has learned Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi is expected to visit Japan as early as next month. He'll likely meet with the Japanese Prime Minister. If it occurs, it will be Suga Yoshihide's first meeting with a senior official from China since assuming the post. News of the possible visit comes in the wake of a telephone conversation between Suga and Chinese President Xi Jinping. The two leaders spoke on Friday. They underscored the importance of high-level communications and agreed to work closely together. The Chinese foreign minister will also likely meet his Japanese counterpart, Motegi Toshimitsu. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is due to visit Japan early next month as well. Prime Minister Suga is expected to meet with him. Suga has stressed that the Japan-US alliance is at the core of his diplomatic agenda. He also wants to build better relations with China. The Prime Minister is expected to convey that message to Wang at their meeting. Japanese actor Takeuchi Yuko has died in an apparent suicide. She was 40 years old. Sources say her family found her motionless in her home in Tokyo's Shibuya ward at around 2 a.m. on Sunday. She was later pronounced dead at a hospital. Tokyo police say they suspect she took her own life. Takeuchi appeared in numerous movies and TV dramas. She won an Actress Award from the Japan Academy Film Prize Association. She was the heroine of an NHK drama series that started in 1999 and appeared in an NHK historical drama that was aired in 2016.
I'm shocked. I was watching her when I was young. I'm sad.
I'm very disappointed because I was looking forward to seeing the actress grow older and more attractive.
Takeuchi married an actor from the same office last year and had given birth in January. September 26, 2013 is the date that the first high-level meeting on nuclear disarmament at the UN Assembly was held. To mark the day, Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has called for the world to reverse course and return to a common path toward nuclear disarmament. Guterres released a statement for the International Day for the Total Elimination of Nuclear Weapons. He said that states possessing nuclear weapons increasingly choose to pursue strategic competition over cooperation. He added that the dangers posed by nuclear weapons are becoming more acute. He urged such states to return to real good faith dialogue to restore trust and confidence. The UN chief stressed that the death, suffering and destruction caused by the atomic bombing in Hiroshima and Nagasaki must not be repeated. Guterres also supports the efforts being made by the Review Conference of the parties to the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons. The next meeting is scheduled to be held in January. French media reports say a man arrested for stabbing 2 people in Paris told investigators he was angry at the magazine Charlie Hebdo. It republished cartoons depicting the Prophet Muhammad. A man and a woman were stabbed in front of the magazine's former office on Friday. Authorities arrested 2 people nearby. French media report one of them is an 18-year-old man from Pakistan. The newspaper Le Parisien says the suspect admitted to assaulting the 2. The other suspect was released without being charged. The Charlie Hebdo office was the target of an attack in January 2015 after it first published the cartoons. The publisher released them again this year as the trial for that attack was starting. The magazine recently received threats from individuals and groups identifying themselves as Islamic extremists. The suspect apparently did not know that the publisher had moved to a new office. Lebanon's Prime Minister-designate has given up on trying to form a new government. Mustafa Adib was appointed to the role by the president late last month. The previous government of Prime Minister Hassan Diab resigned after a huge explosion in the capital Beirut on August 4th. Now Adib is quitting, saying it had become clear that the kind of cabinet he wanted to form was bound to fail. Various religious groups and sects are competing for political power in Lebanon. Local media report that a major stumbling block for Adib was a disagreement with Shiite Muslims over his choice for finance minister. Lebanon desperately needs foreign financial assistance, especially after the devastating explosion. France has shown willingness to help, but President Emmanuel Macron says Lebanon must carry out political reforms and set up a government capable of receiving aid as soon as possible. Moving now to France, where a startup says it's building the first zero-emissions hydrogen plant in Europe. The startup says hydrogen will be generated from seawater using electricity from a nearby wind farm. The plant is scheduled to begin operations next May. It will produce 1 ton of hydrogen per day to power buses in the area. Hydrogen-powered automobiles and planes are being developed around the world. They do not emit carbon dioxide, but most methods to create that hydrogen do emit greenhouse gases. The CEO of the company, Mathieu Guenet, says hydrogen produced with fossil fuels is no different from gasoline, so it's important to use a process that does not emit any greenhouse gases. And those were the main stories for this hour.